On a Feel Good Friday, a ton to get into. The NBA playoff picture is almost fully set. How far do we expect the Lakers and Warriors to go? And which star has the biggest spotlight on him? Also, Phoenix failed to make the playoffs. Suns owner Matt Ishbia isn't playing, taking aim at Stephen A. Stephen A is going to respond like only he can. But this guy right here, Aaron Rodgers, went on the Pat McAfee show yesterday in an attempt to clear the air, but did he provide more questions than answers? That's where we kick things off. Aaron Rodgers' future is uncertain. He's been open about his priorities, including personal matters and a desire to join a team that wants him and has a strong chance of winning. Here's Aaron on his decision-making process.
This entire time, I haven't felt like I owed anybody some sort of decision at any point. And I've been upfront with him and said, listen, if you need to move on, if you need to do something, by all means, like nothing but love and respect. But there's been no deadline, and yeah, I've talked to Mike T many times.
If you were to play again, does it feel like it would probably be for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, again, I'm going back to it, but I am trying to be open to everything and not specifically attached to anything when it comes to this decision. I'm not holding anybody hostage. I really want to emphasize that.
It's just a lot for me on the top of the morning. SA on the West Coast, our own Mike T and J Mac.
Hold on. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, J Mac. Good morning, Mike T. I want to say this. Usually I let people do a cold open, and the doggies of the world messes it up along with Shannon's tried, other people tried. Molly did a good job there. I just want to say that. Molly did a good job. Way to go.
That was a tease. I was just trying to let the people know what's on deck, what's ahead, if they want to stay tuned.
You did a good job.
Professional.
Yeah, and one of those things I want them to stay tuned for is this Aaron Rodgers conversation. So is it time for Pittsburgh to move on from Aaron Rodgers, Mike T?
Molly, 100%. He's giving us the answers to the test. J-Mac, you've played. Do you want your battlefield commander to be wallowing, looking at the Pacific Ocean, saying, I'm not sure if I want to play? Coach Parcells used to say, when a player is talking about being retired, they are. And if you want to be a winning frontline quarterback withstanding the rigors of a 17-game regular season, you want somebody that's in Pittsburgh right now in the offseason program, getting to know DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth. I am all in on the draft. I applaud them getting DK Metcalf. This is a team that's competing against the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals. We have to be point scorers. Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great. It's over, guys. We want people, ironically, what Mike Tomlin would say, we want volunteers, not hostages. This is a guy that's disinterested in being an NFL quarterback, which is fine. He's earned that right. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars. It's over. We are drafting our next quarterback.
Go ahead, J-Mac.
I look at this, and you said it, Mike T, in their division, they're competing with the likes of those guys. You're going to do that with Mason Rudolph? I think for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if I was a player in that locker room, yes, I might be looking and saying, you know what, the hell with Aaron Rodgers. If he doesn't want to be a Steeler, then go ahead and move on and do something else because you want a decision to be made. Mike T, you've been a GM. If you're sitting in that seat, though, you have to do what's in the best interest of the team. And right now, going to battle with Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson in your quarterback room as the veterans and hoping that in the draft at the 21st pick, you get the quarterback that you want that's going to be ready to play right away because Mason Rudolph, I don't think, is the bridge quarterback where you're saying, you know what, we brought in DK Metcalf, we traded away a draft pick, we gave him $30 million, and I'm completely comfortable with Mason Rudolph being the quarterback to throw him his 15 touchdown passes this year to elevate us to a playoff win. I look at the Steelers, and the knock on Mike Tomlin right now is, yes, he ends up the regular season with a winning record, but they get to the playoffs and they're an exit in whatever their first round is, whether that's divisional or the wild card game. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you're trying to find a way to get over that hump. So running it back with Mason Rudolph isn't the answers to the test, Mike T. You have to sit and wait because the decisions that they've already made this offseason, not re-signing Justin Fields, not re-signing Russell Wilson, not going after Sam Darnold, they put themselves in this situation where, yes, they have to wait on a 41-year-old quarterback who is unsure whether he wants to play football next year or not.
Well, first of all, J-Mac, you're absolutely right. You wait. See, I just don't understand you sometimes. I really, really don't. I mean, I love you, but I just don't get it. I really, really don't. Because you know football. Even though I call you Mr. CIA and you don't tell us anything, you know, you say so much and then you walk away wondering what the hell did he say? You know what I'm saying? I know what you said this morning, Mike T. I know what you said this morning, Mike T. Let me tell you something, man. Do you see the Steelers quarterback room?
I do.
Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. And you're telling me, oh, let's move on. Let's move on. Excuse me. I'm not saying that you just stare back. You got other business to conduct or whatever. But the reality is that looking at your quarterback room, if you have an opportunity to get Aaron Rodgers, regardless of how melancholy or moody he appears to be, the fact of the matter is you don't really have much of a choice. Because that's the situation you're in. Russell Wilson walked out the door. He's a New York Giant. Justin Fields walked out the door. He's a New York Jet. Mason, I want to hear about Mason. Every time I think about Mason, I think about Perry Mason, which is one of my all-time favorite shows, okay? That's what I think about. I don't think about the quarterback Mason Rudolph. I'm not trying to hear that. And then you're going to come to me and Skylar Thompson. I know he had a good playoff game where he put up about 30 points against the Buffalo Bills when Tua Tagovailoa was out a couple of years ago. But the fact of the matter is we haven't seen much from this dude. So Mike T sitting up there on national television telling us, let's move on, just move on. You're acting like there's a viable quarterback in the Steelers organization, and I don't see it. There's an APB out for one, okay? That's why you got yourself looking at Aaron Rodgers and saying, damn, I hope he decides to come.
Steve A., one of the main things I love and admire about you is your mastery of the English language, but you just used the wrong word. You used the word melancholy to describe Aaron Rodgers. The word should be moribund. These stats are from Hembo. The last 2 years that he's been playing quarterback, how about this? He's 13-21 as a starter, and they've averaged 20 points a game. So if we just changed the last name and it was Jones or Smith, it's a moribund Aaron Rodgers, not a melancholy.
Hold it. You're right. I know the meaning of the word. I get where you're coming from. I understand it. And against a lesser man, you would get away with that soliloquy you just gave. You're not getting away with it with me. You know why? Because the Mike T that I know, tell me I'm wrong, J-Mac, the Mike T that I know, the executive that was once with the New York Jets, that was once with the Miami Dolphins, that's been associated with the NFL for more than 3 decades, isn't that the same Mike T that would bring into consideration the fact that you fired your coach 5 games into the season? Isn't that the Mike T that would bring up the fact that the comfort zone that the quarterback had with the offensive coordinator was disrupted because that brother was demoted before ultimately being kicked out the door? Isn't that the same Mike T that would point out how you had an owner that was once the ambassador to the UK, for crying out loud, wasn't even paying attention to football, then comes back to take things over for his brother, and before he got a chance to pass gas, this man is making changes in the middle of the damn season? The Mike T that I know, the Mike T that I've been talking to for years, the Mike T that I know knows this football and prides himself on being connected to understanding what symmetry and cohesiveness actually means, this man right here just threw all of that out of the window just to make sure you're going to use the word moribund when you associate yourself with Aaron Rodgers. You need to stop it, Mike T. There were some special circumstances in New York City